So let me keep going here. The next one is a two-factor authentication policy. So what we see more and more, of course, is that everyone wants two-factor to be turned on for all their users or for a set of their users. In this case, we're going to use an example of, I'm not going to push all my Slack users to have two-factor, but I am for my admins. So I've defined that my admins must have two-factor set up for Slack. So I'm going to go look, I'm going to look for all my admins that are in Slack, and then I'm going to look for whether they have two-factor set up. I'm going to drill into that. I'm going to notify the admins, and it may only be one, but if this is your policy, it should be followed. So now you're going to go and notify those people. Hey, you don't have two-factor set up for your Slack environment. You need to do that right now. Here are the exact steps for how to do that. Ultimately, you can write in, I've seen this, where you can say, we are revoking admin access if you do not turn on two-factor. And so you could remediate that way if you want. You could remediate by revoking the admin access. And then ultimately, you can set it up to enforce that. You could ping the entire Slack channel, your IT Slack channel if you want. Every time that someone doesn't have two-factor set up, maybe somewhat embarrass the person who hasn't set it up. You could take over, you could force two-factor, you could do whatever it is that is important to you, and whatever your policy calls for. But again, just another example of a policy that needs to get set up. So here's what it would look like. So you would have an alert for admins who don't have two-factor set up. And you would be able to see the list of users. And exactly like I showed you before, this is the investigation part. That all the users that trigger this this alert, they're going to show up, and you can drill in. You have context on who these users are. This was very, very important to us. We spent a lot of energy doing this, where instead of just a logging system, there's context on every one of these users. This is not a text string like you saw before. If I click on Chris Gwynn on that, it'll be another flyout with details on who Chris Gwynn is, which groups is he a part of, what data does he have access to. That's a very important element of this investigation. Just to see someone's email address, then you have to take that email address, log into 10 different SaaS applications, enter it in, see who the person is, try to triangulate. We give all of that to you in a single view with context right there.